Very good point, because a lot of the time, I mean, even before I do a podcast, I get a little bit of anxiety, like, oh, fuck, am I going to say something wrong? People are going to judge me, blah, blah, blah. It's that inner child that's kind of like, and your inner judge saying, like, you know, what could happen? Well, what's the worst that could happen? Someone could fucking disagree with what I say. Yeah. Fair enough. Or change the way that they think about me based on my past. Well, whatever. Do what you got to do. It doesn't affect me in any way. Yeah. And by the time that you push forward and push through that anxiety, the feeling of like, aha, is just so much better. Absolutely. Than it is if you focus on that feeling and give it energy and just sort of sit there and kind of, you know, just kind of like condense. Yeah. You're just feeding that. Is if you can kind of blossom out, and anytime you start shrugging in, feeling that anxiety, push out and just, you know, go on with what's going to make the difference. Instead of what's comfortable, there's two different things, right? Yeah. So you want to make sure that you actually, when you're saying face that, you're saying, you know, feel the fear and do it anyway. Yeah, is what you're feeling.
Face everything and rise. It's a great acronym for blossoming out of that.
Yeah,
right? You know, that's a great acronym because you don't want to hold that in.
Yeah, and we all know that fear is, do you know, the false evidence appearing real?
False evidence appearing real, yeah.
Right, so I mean, we create all these different things in our mind. It's amazing because, I mean, as long as you're following this and you learn to kind of read your heart and follow your heart and not let your mind fuck with that. Yeah. Then you're going to do good in the world. It's inevitable. Yeah. But if you listen to this and you follow this, you can end up in the fucking mental hospital real quick. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Some, you know, I volunteer there, and some people need to be there. But, I mean, there's a lot of people that are on medications and things like you're saying. This day and age, I like it too. I feel like if I'm feeling something, there's a reason for it. Even if it's depression, even if whatever it is, I need to listen. I need to work through it. And, without taking the quick Band-Aid, Band-Aid fix of medication. Yeah. I've tried a million different kinds in my 20s, and I think it fucked me up even more. But
me too.
Yeah. So, I mean, so you're not on it. Have you tried medications for depression, anxiety?
When I was younger.
When you were younger,
that's what caused the seizure. And I lost my license for 4 years. Talk about being depressed. I just had it for about 16 months or something like that, and they took it away for 4.5 years.
No shit.
Yep. And because I've been taught to be honest, there's a lot of things that I said to my doctors that I shouldn't have said. They wanted to make me do weekends in a mental house because of some of the things I said, being honest about what I do on the weekends with my friends.
That's fucking wild.
That's the system beating you down, and you've been told to be honest by your parents, and, you know, be good, do good by others, don't lie, you know, don't manipulate the system. And what did that teach me? Don't tell them anything. How did that fuck you up? You know? And the medication that they're using as a guinea pig on me, I had a seizure.
It's weird though, because you let's face it, you don't get anything out of therapy unless you're totally fucking honest. But if you're totally honest,
you get fucked sometimes, like me.
So I mean, it's talk about a double-edged sword.
It is,
And I agree with that completely. I mean, I saw a therapist. He was just sort of a friend of the family. My family's sort of background of physicians, so it was easy enough to get in to see a psychiatrist when I wasn't feeling well. And I tell you, I'm not a fan of therapy at all. I really sort of agree with the coaching side of things more or less. I feel like the therapy, maybe it was just, I mean, they're just people. Right? So, I mean, maybe it just wasn't a good fit. I'm sure there are some dynamite therapists and psychiatrists out there.
People that actually care.
Yeah, but for me, it was like, okay, well, what kind of medication should we try next? And that, for me, was just like, well, this isn't what I want to do for the rest of my life. I don't want to have to depend on a pill to feel, quote-unquote normal. Yeah. Not that there is such a thing, but...
Yeah, what is normal, right? Everybody defines it differently. But you're right.
And I like being unique now. I like being different. Like, I can't drink and I can't do drugs, and, you know, I don't want to anymore.
No, it's good.
Yeah, but, like...
You had that defining moment that you needed to in your life to get you to the next step for you to move forward, and that's where you're at now. And I think it's fucking awesome.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. You're one of the few people that... we talk about circles getting smaller as you get old. Yeah. And older. I don't want to call us old. We're still pretty young. We still got lots of time.
We've got relative youth, don't we?
Let's hope, yeah. But, you know, as the circles get smaller, I really appreciate having people with similar mindsets that I can talk to about this sort of thing, because there's a lot of people, let's face it, if you're someone that's very... they call themselves realists, but they're really pessimists or, you know, into sarcasm and things like that. Yeah. When you start talking the way that we're talking right now to someone like that, they have something negative to shoot us down every fucking time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, you probably deal with it even more than I do with the MLM stuff.
You deal with it all the time, and you got to put on that fake smile. But what I've learned to do is every objection or negative answer they have for me, I've got such a quick comeback to turn it around. Not in a
you don't want to be condescending
way. Right. It's something to expand their mind and basically turn their question into a question back at them as more of a projection.
Yeah, sure.
Know? It's like
put the mirror on them.
Yeah, yeah. I'm holding up that mirror. I'm just
sure.
Take a look at yourself.
Yeah, and a lot of the times I don't think people understand. Like, we're not mentioning any names. We're not saying anything to directly offend anyone. So
not at all.
If you're getting offended by something that we're saying, that says something about you, nothing about us.
Exactly.
That says everything about you. Yeah. So I mean, if you're driving to the keyboard and thinking like, oh, I gotta type something negative towards these assholes, that's not our problem. That's your fucking problem, and you need to be listening to more of this shit.
Yeah, you do. Personal growth is worth its weight in gold.
Absolutely, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
So
everybody needs to listen to it.
So let's get back to that third relationship before we finish up, because I know that one was the hardest for you.
Yeah, the third one was the one I wanted to put the ring on her finger, and
this is the one I met at one of the conferences, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we won't mention names, but
no, we won't go there.
Yeah,
everything. I thought everything was great. I mean, I thought it was all moving in the right direction. My dad was like, "She's definitely not the one for you."
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how they know?
I know. I don't get it. I wish he was still around to tell me who the right one is, but he's not. So I got to figure it out for myself.
I know, buddy. I'm sorry about that, by the way.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
But no, everything was great. Everything was really good, at least in my mind, in my eyes, and in my mind's eye, that's for sure. And we went. I think it was good. 3 years.
Wow.
Right around 3 years.
Yeah.
3.5, 2.5. Right around 3 years.
Something around that. Yeah.
It's been a couple of years now since we spoke last. And basically, I was out west, back and forth, in between working the business and doing what I have to do to cover my ass and making sure things are running in the right direction. And I was forced to go out west because money was running low and business is cyclical, right? It's sometimes things are really good, sometimes things can be really bad. And I was at that moment where I had to go.
Yep.
I had to go.
Okay.
And I was gone, and I was back and forth, and the conversations just got weaker and weaker and weaker. And for about this is all speculation, but I've kind of figured out just from looking at the timelines and when things started to change as far as her reaction, I figure there's a good 8 months roughly of cheating going on.
Fuck, man.
Maybe less, I don't know. But when this final fantasy came down and she said, it's the whole "it's not you, it's me" thing. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Give me a fucking answer.
Yeah.
She couldn't give me an answer. She just, "It's not you, it's me," and crying and everything. I'm like, if you need space, that's fine, and we can try to figure this out. I'll give you your space.
Yeah.
She's like, okay. The instant I took the old relationship status off Facebook, good old social media.
Fucking social media.
You gotta fucking love it.
That's such a dig too, man.
It is.
Yeah.
And the next day, I was flying out to a business event in Vegas again.
Yeah.
Was it Vegas? No, it was Dallas.
Okay.
And I was in Dallas, and my first girlfriend, that I'm really good friends with.
Yeah.
She was.
She sounds cool. I like her already.
Yeah, she's awesome. She was dating one of my friends in the business at the time. And she was there at the event, and I passed her in the hall. She's like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "I thought you were at the cottage with your girlfriend." I'm like, "The cottage? My girlfriend?" I'm like, "Why? Where'd you hear that?"
Oh,
She's like,
shit.
She posted a photo. "Did you guys get a new cottage?" I'm like, "Let me see your phone." She's like, "Oh, shit." She's like, "Did I fuck something up?" I'm like, "Nope. But I'm going to fuck something up. Let me see your phone." And she let me see the phone, and my ex of a day blocked me off all the social media.
So you couldn't see it?
Only off the Instagram, and I couldn't see it. So I seen the photo, and it's like, "Oh, I'm with the love of my life up at the cottage with his amazing family, and there's a hot tub and a speedboat and this nice mansion on the water." I was blown away, disgusted. I had all kind of mixed emotions. I was going to puke. It wasn't a very good event. That's the only thing I could think about. My mind wasn't on the business by any means. I just wanted to get back and figure out what the hell did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Why did I deserve this?
So that's not something that happens over a day, clearly.
No, you don't say that it's you, it's me, and nothing's going on, and then a day later, I'm with the love of my life, and then her relationship status changed that day on Facebook too.
That's fucked up.
And then when I asked her about it, like, complete different girl, like, "You're not my boyfriend, you can't talk to me like that," like, total different person.
Wow.
From what I was told, I guess a couple months went by, and then they split up. So
usually happens.
Yeah, rock and roll. But,
well, it sounds like she went for fucking money over like a really solid guy, which is always a mistake. They'll always regret that.
Well, apparently they were friends for about 7 years. I've never even heard this guy's name.
Really?
Which is kind of odd.
That is odd.
Yeah, and then...
maybe she always had that in the back of her mind.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe she was always
Regardless, man, I'm sorry that happened to you. That sucks. There's nothing worse than that feeling of fucking being cheated on.
I know, and I was so close to buying a ring, I couldn't figure out which one I wanted, and we had a cruise set up. My mom, my dad, my good friend Dan and Mel, they actually got married on this. Well, he proposed to her on this cruise as well.
Right.
We climbed a big mountain in St. Lucia, and we were all going to do it together. That was kind of our plan. I mean, he was going to do the mountain, but I wasn't sure where I was going to do it on the boat, and I had booked this trip for her as well, so thank God I hadn't bought the ring or anything. We still went on the cruise, had a wicked time. But, yeah.
Fuck, man.
I guess it's kind of a blessing in disguise. Because I'm very happy. And since then, it's helped me get my independence back. I mean, you take a hit like that sometimes, and you don't know if you're going to bounce back.
Yeah.
And the business took a major hit, too, because I wasn't myself.
You were in a hole.
Yeah, a lot of people relied on me. I wasn't the leader that they knew. You know, and I'm still trying to get myself back. But, you know, I'm doing different things that I'm really passionate about, too. And that, again, you know, incompatible goals. Sometimes that can pull you in different ways. But, I mean, I love what I do. I'm happy. I'm having a blast. And
good for you,
that's
man.
what life's about. Just be happy.
Yeah. So, I mean, in this, you're single. Yep. Ladies, he is single. All right.
Single. Yep.
Pretty good catch now. I mean, totally reformed, positive mindset, go-getter kind of guy. I fucking love you. So, yeah, I think that the next relationship, the only thing you're going to have to be cautious about is just that trust thing is going to be something that has to be built maybe a little slower.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, I've always had such... I'm very trustworthy.
You are, yeah. I know you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a very, very trustworthy guy with, you know, friends and women, whatever, and I can, you know, they can tell me a secret and I'll keep it. I'm not that type of guy.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, with that relationship, she took that for granted, and that's kind of hurt me, where I'm afraid to open up as much, and I don't let them in now. And I think, you know, for all I know, I may have screwed a few things up along the way with who knows. You know?
I think that, dude, when the right woman comes along, you'll be able to let that wall down again, and
yeah,
and hopefully she'll be patient with you, because it's no easy. That's a trauma, dude. Like, I mean, being cheated on and having your trust kind of betrayed like that happens to a lot of people, unfortunately. Some people don't even know what's happening to them, and that's kind of the fucking reality of the world, and something that makes people scared about dating in the first place.
Yeah.
Is getting hurt. That's another thing that's a fear for people, right? But
and we live in the social... Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
And we live in the social media age too, which makes it so much easier, I find. You know, oh, cheating on me. Oh, well, Johnny liked my photo. I'm gonna go hang out with Johnny. Oh, Cindy, you want to go for drinks?
Yeah,
Cindy, okay, let's go.
The stories you can create in your mind from a little thing like that.
You have a little tiff. It's like, you know what? You go do you. I'm gonna go out with your friend.
Yeah,
she's been liking my photos.
Yeah, it's kind of a fucked up world that way that we're creating, and I totally agree with you. I think that you know, you're mature enough to know. I'm mature enough to know that social media is filled with lies. It's filled with people putting their highlight reel on. Not very many people would even talk about the things that we're talking about today. Mm-hmm. They'd hide behind it and put up a fucking photo of them, you know, shirtless at the gym instead, and that's better, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that you just have to find someone mature to know, like, hey, this isn't my mind's taking me in so many different directions because of this bullshit.
Yeah,
it's not always what it seems, and 9 times out of 10, it's not what it seems. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the time, your worst thoughts aren't even true. So
I know.
Yeah, the things we give meaning to and attach energy to, that a lot of the time are just fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
it's not reality.
No.
And we create these. Anyway, we could get into a whole other fucking podcast.
We could talk for hours.
Yeah, but let's wrap it up, man.
Yeah,
and I just wanted to leave it at the fact that, ladies, he's available. I think we're going out in London tonight, aren't we, for a little bit?
I think we're going to go out, yeah.
You're going to have a few beers. I'm going to stay sober.
I might have a beer or two.
Beer or two?
Not too many. I'm trying to lay low myself these days.
Good for you, buddy.
Really focus on my trading.
Sure. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's wrap it up there, buddy. Thank you for sharing everything that you've shared. I know you've shared it before, but it's never easy to go back and relive, and some of the stuff is new. Yeah. So I appreciate your talking.
I like this way we talked about it too, because you get my mind thinking about certain things, and like you said about people wanting to come back, there's a lot of things that I could touch base on that when you're talking, it stirs something up. I'm like, I gotta let them know about that. But you know what? Another day, another time.
There's lots of opportunity as long as we're here in London, and when you're in London, come back on. I mean, absolutely. And to all my guests that have been on so far,